inspirational, and I hope that the message gets out there that we have a lot to share in our community. So, as a counselor, I can tell you some matters that I think are very important that the city is working behind the scenes with. We don't always see it up in the front, but there is a lot going on. We are trying to get some affordable housing projects going. The reality of it is the city cannot build projects. It's just not the city's job to provide it, but it is very important for us to incentivize and find ways to bring in builders and people who can help us to get housing. We seriously need some multifamily housing. One of the things I'm very excited about is the passage of the Grants Mass Transportation Plan. A lot of the growth in the area south in the urban growth boundary has been zoned county zoned, and it's not city zoned, but now that we have put our transportation plan in place, we will be able to rezone that, and hopefully by mid-year get some housing developments going out there. I do know there's people, we did already approve one for a 58-unit apartment complex, so it's nice to see things start to happen. There have been quite a few actually building starts that are going on. If you go out G Street, you'll see that it is building going on. There's a community development plan in the northeast area that is designed for people who start their homes. So there are some things going on behind the scenes, and that's a very important thing. I will say I came on the council in 2015 when Lily Morgan stepped up to become run for county commissioner. So I was appointed in 2015 and re-elected in 2016. So this will be my second election process. And it takes a long time to get things done, and I'd like to see some things go that faster. But I can also tell you, with like the water treatment plant, that's been in the works since 2013. Long process, very long process, but very important process. I think the thing that we really need to work on is not only providing for the housing, but also quality of life. Quality of life is important, and getting jobs, getting good wage jobs. I personally have 4 children, all of them college educated, all of them have moved away from this community, and it breaks my heart because I wish that they could live here and be comfortable, but they're in jobs that there's just not work here. So I really like to be able to establish things to keep our young people here and make them not want to go away. So those are the things that I will continue to work on. I am a big believer in transportation, how important that is. I am a chairperson for the Mid-Row Metropolitan Planning Organization, and currently this coming year, the state chairman for the OMPOC, which is the Oregon Metropolitan Planning. Well, because things start long ago, it's kind of like the hub downtown that's getting ready to be built. That started in 2014 and finally came to be, and it hasn't even started, but will be starting soon. So things need to be pushed through. Sometimes there's good things with the time that it takes, sometimes there's not, but anyway, I believe in what I do, I believe in doing my homework, I enjoy what I do, I enjoy people, and like I said, it gives me, I'm a retired teacher, so I always love to learn. I always used to tell my kids, who think I'm teaching because I like kids, it's because I like learning. You guys are a sidebar, which of course I did enjoy, but I do love to learn, and so this has given me the opportunity to learn a lot. The old saying goes, if you live longer because you are learning more, I'm going to live to be a very old age. So I just hope that you vote for me and look forward to serving 4 more years.
Thank you very much, Valerie. Clint, would you like to go next?
Okay. Good evening. My name is Clint Sheriff. I am serving on the town council representing Ward 1, Northwest District. Right now, I had the opportunity to serve on the council, start a couple years ago. The actual mayor went and became a county commissioner, and one of the town councilors was bumped up to be a mayor, and that left a position open in my ward. And opportunity arose, a door opened, and I walked through it and tried to help the city out with some of my planning experience. I currently operate an engineering firm, and I help people and developers, homeowners develop properties. So I know quite a bit about planning and the codes and building code and so forth. I have been on for serving the council for 2 years. It's been a learning experience. It took me a little while to get my wings and my voice, but I believe I represent the working class of the area here. I own my own business. I do work out of my house, so I do have to sublet my house right now to my school children. so I have half of a workshop and half of a school, which is very interesting, but we all learn to get along. There's a lot of things that the city needs to, I see fruition for the city. I see, I'd like to work on an economic development department within the city. I'd like us to take our own economic development under our own umbrella. So basically we're fighting for ourselves. Right now, we utilize the resources of So Ready, and they actually spread their resources across a few counties, and I think it's about time where we are at the growth point where we take that responsibility on for ourselves. We have an abundance of industrial area that is undeveloped right now, or is not utilized. It is developed. I mean, there's some infrastructure that we need to put into some areas, but I believe we've got ripe opportunity for us to get some more manufacturing industry to come in. I think we're lacking in some of these mid-level jobs, and if we have some more jobs available that are stable, good paying, we can tackle a lot of issues that people are talking about right now. Affordable housing is an issue that people are addressing in our city. I just think there's a lot other ways to look at it, and I think I'd like to approach it from a couple different angles, such as trying to get some resources here and get people jobs. I'd like to see our city grow. I'd like to see everybody prosperous and happy. So I bring a lot of knowledge in that planning aspect to the dais. And another one of my pet projects for the near future is I would like to really get behind reallocating some of the city land and getting an RFP out, or actually getting a plan out to promote a convention center for our neighborhood. We've got a lot of land that, we've got a chunk of land that's right next to the river that we could actually utilize. I know there's a lot of investigation we're going to have to do in that, but I think that story needs to be started. I think that topic needs to be rooted out, and I think we are primed for having a convention center style within the umbrella of our city limits. And what that would bring is it's going to bring more people, it's going to bring more jobs, it's going to bring more resources. We do get a tax revenue from the lodging tax, and so if we can bring more people to our area, which I think a good portion of our economic base is driven by tourism. So why don't we promote that, and why don't we expand on that? Again, I've been serving for 2 years right now, so I'm very comfortable with everybody up there. I'm comfortable with the system. I believe I could bring a lot more, and I've got a lot more ideas to chase down to make the city a little bit grander place and a little bit better place to live. So with that, I thank you. Again, my name is Councilor, and I'm up for election for Ward 1 Town Council. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cammie, you'd be next.
My name is Tammy Walter. I'm running the second time for Ward 4, which is the southwest area, and along Redwood Avenue and across the river over towards Bridge. I'm running on the exact same platform I ran on before. Should I hold this further away? Okay. Which is improving our city by creating more affordable housing, handling the issues we have with our homeless, by holding our council accountable for every penny that's spent. I just got finished passing out more than 500 cards over the last 2 years, which means I've talked and listened to more than 500 people. And I want to bring that talent to the council. I am the most approachable, easy to work with person. That doesn't mean I don't take a stand. It doesn't mean I don't have firm ideas. I'm budget manager that absolutely makes the pennies pinch and scream, because I've been totally solvent myself for over 20 years. And I think we can have a solvent city budget where we're not overspending, where we're utilizing our resources. And I totally agree with Clint in that we need to really focus on bringing better jobs here. I can get any minimum wage job in this town, but can I get a job that utilizes my skills and my talents and my education? Not really. And I'd have to go to Medford, I'd have to go somewhere else to find a decent job. But I also think that we have to address the needs of the people here who are working minimum wage jobs. They need homes, not just apartments, they want homes. And I got very lucky and became a homeowner in an affordable home. I happen to be the only low-income candidate to run, and so I actually have a real feel for what people are struggling with in this town. The main thing that the 500 told me was they don't feel like city council really understands what they're going through. They don't feel like the city council listens to their needs. They don't feel like the city council is spending their tax dollars wisely. And these are all issues that I'm totally willing and able to address. I've got a background in working in neighborhood groups. In Chattanooga, the city is run by city councilors who respond to the neighborhood groups. And I was trained to become a city councilor, but the sad thing was I couldn't stand living in the South anymore, and I had to come back to the West. And I feel very sincerely that my personal reason for running is to utilize the skills and the training and the background I have is to bring it to the table and make quality of life here in Grants Pass what it should be. I'm an outsider, you guys. I've only been here 3 years. And it's one thing if you're, have been well established in the community, but the one thing that you don't get is you get inured to certain things. Like, you don't notice a high crime rate for such a small town. I've never seen anything like it. I'm totally behind trying to get Neighborhood Watch active here. I was a Neighborhood Watch captain for over 1,000 homes in San Diego, and we were able to reduce crime by 36% in just 16 months. I'm very much about volunteerism. If there was anything I learned from living in Tennessee, which is known as the volunteer state, is the power of getting people involved. And I am great at getting people involved. I plan on actually not just sitting in the council chambers listening and reading. I plan on actually going out and talking to people, more than 500. I'll come to your church. I'll come to your community group. That's the counselor that I'm going to be. And most of all, I want to be a person who brings a cohesiveness. There's no them in the United States, only us. And that is my philosophy that I plan on bringing to City Council, and hopefully we'll become a great working body together.
Thank you, Jeremy, very much. Vanessa, am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, excuse me, Vanessa Oshie. I'd like to start off by saying thank you everyone on this stage and the mayoral candidates for stepping up and volunteering to lead in your community. I really appreciate your energy there. Also, thank you to the organizers to this event tonight. Really happy to be here holding this space with you. My name is Vanessa Oshie. I am a candidate for the Ward 4 City Council race this November 3rd. To tell you a little bit about myself, I have lived in Josephine County for 19 years. I've been a resident of the city for about 5 years. I had the pleasure of growing up in Merlin, and I attended North Valley High School. I finished out my last year of high school online, receiving my diploma from Oregon Connections Academy. Because I needed to help my mom with her financial needs, I needed to get a job while simultaneously finishing school. I attended RCC Redwood campus and finished my education at Cornell University, receiving my certificate for nutritional studies. I spent about 6.5 years in the financial sector, and I recognized that this wasn't the correct path for my life, and this is when I moved my career out of the private sector and into the public sector, where I now work as a dispatcher for the Oregon State Police. I have spent my free time volunteering with civic groups, and I would say my most favorite campaign I've worked on is Get Out the Vote, which is traditionally done this time of year around an election. That's checking in with people, making sure that they know where their ballot boxes are, making sure that they know when they have to vote by, when the last day to mail your ballot, when you have to drop it off, etc. And having those conversations with people about their civic engagement in their community is really powerful. So that's been one of my most favorite campaigns I've worked on in the past. I have been an unpaid caregiver for my grandmother for many years, so I know the challenges of unpaid family and elder care. My husband and I have navigated being a one-income household, so these are the experiences that I plan on bringing with me while I legislate for the City of Grants Pass once elected as your councilor. So I would like to get into why I have chosen to step up into this position. I don't believe that the City Council is as effective with communicating with the public and ensuring that their values and desires are reflected on the City Council. I would like to focus on 3 things first and foremost. The first is housing, and not just necessarily affordable housing, workforce housing. So I appreciate Councilor Sherv's sentiment on wanting to bring jobs in, but we need to recognize that if folks making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year can't afford housing, those industries will not move here. If those industrial sectors of our community are not developed with sewer and water service, they will not move here. So we need to cultivate the environment for these industries to move in. Our Housing Advisory Committee has had some amazing recommendations the last couple of years on how to move forward on the housing crisis, and I think that we need to focus on those with a laser focus. I think the most effective would be making an investment and hiring a full-time housing director. This would be someone who works 40 hours a week, focusing on solutions for our community and how to house it. We need to create a strong partnership with the Josephine County Housing Council and the Jackson County Housing Authority, because Jackson County has accomplished some amazing things in their community for housing, and I think that the City of Grants Pass can really learn from that. Our planning department needs to work to bring triplex and duplex floor plans available so that contractors can just pick that up and they don't have to worry about actually creating those floor plans. So the solutions exist, we just need the political will to move them forward with the urgency that's needed. I think the second is ensuring that the budget is spent on a priority needs basis. We could point to 2 purchases that would have prevented the budget shortfall that we're now facing. The first is the purchase of Dollar Mountain, and the second is the purchase of the Henderson Chevron gas station. With these 2 purchases, if they had not been made, we would not be facing nearly the deficit that we are now, asking our most critical services, public safety, to have to take that cut. And the third is ensuring the highest amount of accountability and transparency for our City Council, modifying so that the thumbs up vote in workshops is eliminated, bringing back a detailed transcript of both workshops and City Council meetings to ensure those from all walks of life can be informed on what's going on. A video recording is not always the best idea for everybody. Ensuring that all votes are documented on budget committee process, and so many more. I chose to run for City Council because I love my community, and I hope to receive your vote this November 3rd. Thank you.
Thank you, Vanessa. Rob, please.
My name is Rob Bell, and I'm running for Ward 1, Northwest Grants Pass, City Council. I've been on the council before, and there's a lot that I've seen inside City Hall, so I feel that I probably have the ability and the experience to navigate some of the pitfalls. I've been in Grants Pass 25 years. fiscally conservative, I'm independently minded. I really believe that the council needs to hold the staff accountable for contracts being done on time and coming in on budget, which is not at all being done now. And we can point to lots of examples, of course. I've owned and successfully run a downtown business for 25 years, creating about 12 jobs per year. And I can tell you from the times when my children, 2 of my 4 children lived in the Grants Pass area, and from the time they moved here, and also from my employees, I understand what it's like to try to be a renter in Grants Pass and have a workforce level paying job. So anytime I know my employees need to move or they get displaced or the house they're in is being sold, I totally get it. I mean, I listen to them and I understand how hard it is to find a affordable place to live. Even though I do pay, probably for the retail sector, better pay and benefits than most retail jobs, my employees are still struggling when they have to find a new place to rent. So that's something I'm very sensitive to. I have to say that there's too much that, okay, let's talk about, Vanessa touched on the big elephant in the room, budget shortfalls and what's happening with our money. It's interesting that the city councilors don't touch that particularly, but this will be the first council, we're sworn in on January 3rd, this will be the first council, to my knowledge, that knows going in has millions of dollars worth of shortfall and deficits to make up. Every other year, it seems like they come in with a clean slate, they go to goal setting, hey, let's see what we're going to do this year, and how we're going to spend people's money. Well, this year, hopefully, goal setting will have a different tone, and it'll be more realistic. Between of course, the public safety shortfall, which is on everybody's radar, it needs to be solved. And why it wasn't, Vanessa touched on a couple of ways that some of the money was squandered, not the right word. Some people feel they were good purchases, but the prioritization wasn't right. If we all believe that public safety should be number one. The other thing is I watched it really carefully. In 1988, when the first urban renewal of Grants Pass was passed by a vote of the people, I might add, 2016 council passed another urban renewal, and they did not put it out to vote of the people. They just decided they knew better without listening to the people. That's not something that sat well with me then. It doesn't sit well with me tonight. Anyway, we have an urban renewal program going on right now, and it's for $105 million over 30 years. There's so much to know about that most don't understand, and it's too much to get into right now. But the fact is, we're putting away money every single year towards many projects that could potentially be called, we'll call it nice to have rather than need to have. I believe right now it's around $980,000 that's getting put away towards urban renewal projects. And if anybody wants to look at that list, a lot of them are not need to have projects. So when we want to know where to come up with our $1 million for public safety, guess what? There's a lot of need to have, nice to have projects that have been penciled in and stenciled in to councilors' minds by staff, which are not necessities. Whether it's beautification on the north end of 6th and 7th Streets, whether it's the convention center, which is kind of comparable. I remember the last time the city paid a consultant almost $200,000 to study a convention center and other things. And I remember talking to the consultant. The guy had no clue that we do not have many visitors here in the winter. It rains and it's cold here in the winter. I know the conventions I've gone to in the last 5 years for my business have been in Palm Springs, they've been in Las Vegas, they've been in Florida, they've been, one would be called a convention in Hawaii as well. So we're talking about a convention center that will not be a big draw in the winter, yet that is being discussed right now by the council before we're paying for the need to haves, before they nail down where the public safety shortfall is going to come from. We know we've got a problem. My 5 minutes is up.
Yes.
Okay, very quick, I just want to thank the Josephine County Republican Committee, because in 2015, you guys were instrumental in defeating the sales tax. You brought me in, you let me write all the scripts for you and do the recording and coach your people. You did the auto dialers, and without it, we may have had a sales tax today, which would have, I believe, been really catastrophic. So kudos to the